Welcome to a new edition of VR News. Today's headlines. Pimax Crystal received an update that enables eye tracking, introducing forbidden rendering and automatic IPD adjustment. Firmware update V57 expands avatar customization and allow disabling the Guardian for some AR apps. The Home Accident Committee predicts a surge in cases. Apple Vision Pro, almost all iPhone and iPad apps will be compatible with the headset at launch. Hopeful users. Is Netflix available? Apple answered no. Collective hysteria in Unity. Developers will pay based on the number of installations. Developers Union will track down those players who continuously uninstall and reinstall games. iPhone 15 Pro will be able to record spatial videos to be watched with Apple Vision Pro. Loan Companies declares we're in front of a hot period. Valve is reportedly working on a cloud-based gaming console. It might be also support a wireless VR headset. Arashi Castel of Sin Final Cut, it has a release date and will arrive on Quest, Steam VR and PSVR 2. Stay still but do not say cheese. Fast Travel Games' new game will require players to remain motionless to hide among mannequins. Here's the launch trailer. Assassin's Creed Mirage and Resident Evil Village could be playable on Apple Vision Pro, but not as a VR version. Details in this video. Confirmed launch window for the VR mode of Resident Evil 4 Remake, coming this winter on PSVR 2. Here's what's the different from the Resident Evil Village mode. October gets spooky with the arrival of Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord, a cult classic from the movie, returns to Quest and PSVR 2. Meta reveals more details about Asgard's Wrath 2. This time it's about the asynchronous mode called Uncharted Rifts. Details among today's news. Greetings Riffraff, welcome back to this new edition of the top news of the week. As always, before I start, let me thank this week's supporters, Christian and Matteo. Thank you for your contribution and generosity. I would also like to thank everyone who subscribed the channel, watched my video completely, shares and comments. Always remember the goal of reaching 12,000 subscribers by Christmas, so I can give you game keys and accessories for Quest 2 and 3. So come on guys, work hard to bring more people and most importantly, be active, because gifts this time won't be given randomly, because I'll take your activity into account. Now let's get started with the news. Pimax has pulled out another trick out of its sleeve, and it's called Pimax Crystal, a headset with insane resolution and wireless connectivity. If I were to find a flaw with this headset, it was the lack of eye tracking and standalone mode. Not ideal, right? But ta-da! Here comes a firmware update that complete Pimax Crystal with eye tracking, developed by Tobii, and standalone mode. How cool is that? We already know what eye tracking does. Your avatar can move eyes, it adjusts automatically the lenses to match your eye position, and enable forbidden rendering, where only the part of the screen you are looking is rendered at maximum resolution. What a trick, huh? This means better performance, more detailed graphic, and lighter GPU load. Performance can also increase up to 40% in some games. Not bad, right? But it doesn't end there, because the Pimax Crystal can now also work in standalone. But thanks to a Snapdragon XR2 Gen 1, the same, and that powers the Quest 2, although the current app offering is a bit limited. Pimax hoped to convince developers to bring their games into their platforms. In summary, the Pimax Crystal is now more interesting with this new firmware update, although I believe its standalone factor won't be used as much. And update V57 is here, although it might not be the most spectacular update ever. The new version brings an improved avatar editor, where you can be a hairstylist, adjust skin color, and even put makeup on your VR alter ego. Wow, you'll be a VR makeup pro. The default dashboard, previously called Explore, is getting a makeover, and now is called Horizon Feed, mainly focused on Horizon World, promoting games like Super Rumble. Also, when you turn on your headset, you will see the list of contacts, a bit like when you open WhatsApp, but this time it's in VR. But the real surprise here is the disappearance of Guardian in some mixed reality app. Meta has decided that in some of these apps, the boundary of your virtual world can go to heck. We don't know yet which of these apps are involved, but it should be a step towards a smoother VR AR experience. And this move comes just before the launch of Quest 3. So maybe the future of collision-free encounters with furniture is smarter than we thought, and maybe based off some sort of smart guardian. Apple fans, get ready for the future, because Apple Vision Pro is about to make us jump of joy. At launch, you will be able to enjoy almost all iPad and iPhone applications on Vision Pro. Apple has gone to great length to simplify our life with an app store that automatically turns iPad and iPhone apps into Vision OS versions without modifications. But if you are feeling creative, you can create a native version for Vision OS with cross-buy. The choice is yours. There's one small detail. Some applications that use super advanced features might not be available on Vision Pro. Yes, no access to accelerometer or gyroscope, no GPS and no SMS, but don't worry, because many apps will just work fine. Third-party apps can access to Vision Pro cameras, but don't panic, because Apple has already a plan. The selfie camera will show you as your beloved avatar, and the rear camera will give you a black view with the label "No camera." So, no artistic selfie, I'm afraid. Hey, game developers, take a break from your coding and have a sit. Unity has rolled out a Runtime Fee that's shaking up the community. Starting in January 2024, Unity will start to tailing up developers' installation and earnings, charging them with a fee based on how much they are making and how many people are playing their games. For personal or plus plans, you need to reach 200,000 in revenue and 200,000 installations, and each additional installation will cost 20 cents. But if you are pro or enterprise plans, the thresholds are much higher, starting at $1 million in revenue and 1 million installations. In this case, installation costs range from 2 cents to 15 cents, depending on how far over the threshold you are. Some developers have already expressed their displeasure with this fee, even considering alternative game engines like Godot or Unreal, and they worry that this move could hit the free-to-play games and harm the development ecosystem. In short, there's a storm coming to Unity World. Stay tuned to see how Unity will respond to this backslash. Meanwhile, developers, hold tight. Apple is about to bring some space magic to iPhone 15 Pro. By the end of this year, these iPhones will receive an update that allows them to capture spatial videos. These are not just boring 3D stereoscopic videos, no, they are something magical, with a depth that would make your head spin. literally. Unfortunately, Apple has been vague about what these spatial video exactly are, but from the previews, they seem to have some kind of parallax effect when you move your head. I cannot wait to find out what Apple has in store for us. Here's the good news: you will be able to enjoy these spatial videos directly on your Apple Vision Pro, so get ready for a cinematic experience like no other. We are all eagerly awaiting iPhone 15 Pro and this new adventure in the virtual space. Valve might have a spectacular surprise in store for virtual reality enthusiasts. There are hints that Valve is working on a powered living room PC designed to fuel high-end VR experience. Evidence are coming from a new AMD APU discovered in Linux drivers, as well as information leaked from Steam drivers spotted at Valve headquarters. The idea here is that the living room PC can be used to power wireless virtual reality, making the experience more fluid. Valve has already confirmed that it's working on a new VR headset, and the evidence suggests that it will be powered by this powerful PC. The device design suggests that it might not be a fully standalone headset like Quest, but rather a headset that relies on a main unit connected to a PC. Valve's approach could make virtual reality more accessible to a wider range of users, offering high performances at a competitive price, much like it did already with the Steam Deck compared to consoles. Of course, there are no official details from Valve yet, so let's keep fantasizing a bit longer. It will be interesting to see what Valve has in store for the future of virtual reality. Skydance Interactive is about to bring VR fans a samurai experience with the release of Arashi Castel of Sin Final Cut. The game will be available starting from November 16 on various platforms, including PSVR 2, PCVR and MetaQuest. However, Skydance seems to have created a little mystery around the Quest 3 version, saying that it's coming soon without specifying a precise date. This Final Cut version of Arashi Castel of Sin offers an improved experience compared to the original, with a mix of stealth and sword fighting. Those who had the opportunity to try it on PSVR 2 during the Gamescom say that despite some minor issues, it's still a funny game that worth attention. It seems like an engaging gaming experience for all virtual reality enthusiasts, and the release on various platforms of Arashi Castel of Sin Final Cut will make it accessible to a broader audience. So mark November 16 on your calendar and get ready for this intriguing samurai title. Fast Travel Games has announced its new multiplayer VR title called Mannequin, scheduled for release in 2024 on platforms like Quest, Steam VR and PSVR 2. The game features an interesting challenge between two teams. One is composed of aliens called mannequins and the other of humans agents. The game world is frozen in time, and the aliens must pose as human among the frozen characters, trying to elude the human agents. On the other side, the human agents must identify the aliens among the mannequins or use their technology to neutralize from distance. Matches consist in a series of rounds, and the goal is of course to completely eliminate the other team. Mannequin is an engaging and innovative game that brings a concept similar to Prop Hunt but in VR, but with a new perspective. Player will have to assume poses and adapt to game mechanics to hide or hunt opponents. The game looks promising, and the developers are working on various game options, including 1 versus 1 battle, to ensure a variety of experience. With the promise of immersive physicality and a unique VR experience, Mannequin seems like a title to keep an eye on for all the virtual reality enthusiast that looks for an engaging multiplayer experience. It will be interesting to see how Fast Travel Games further develops this title over time, and in the meanwhile, we continue to follow it. And again, hot news from the Apple Galaxy. It seems that some top-tier games, the one we call AAA, are making their triumphant entrance in iPhone 15 Pro and powerful iPads with M1 or M2 chipset. But the most interesting part is that we might see them on Apple Vision Pro, the future of Apple's VR headset. During Apple's latest event, games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, Death Stranding, Resident Evil Village, and Resident Evil 4 Remake were announced for the new iPhone 15 Pro and the beefy iPads with M1 or M2 chipset. And wait, there's more! Last year at WWDC 2022, they announced that even No Man's Sky will come to the iPad. Now, the really intriguing part is that Apple has said that almost all the iPad and iPhone applications will be available on Apple Vision Pro at launch. Sure, there are some exceptions, but they relate to features that AAA games will probably won't use, such as accelerometer or GPS. But here's another threat. Vision Pro will support connecting a gamepad via Bluetooth. This means we could soon play Assassin's Creed Mirage or Death Stranding on a virtual screen directly on Vision Pro. We don't have official confirmation yet, but with the super powerful M2 chipset, it seems very likely. Resident Evil Village and No Man's Sky, for example, offer already immersive VR experience on PSVR 2, but playing in VR requires a lot of power, and the M2 chip, as powerful as it is, it's still far from the power of a PlayStation 5. Furthermore, Vision Pro won't support tracked controllers, but developers could adapt the gamepad to create VR experiences. In short, an interesting future is shaping up for games on Apple device. Who would have thought? Stay tuned for more updates. And the virtual horrors enthusiast, here's some spine-tingling news. Capcom has finally given us a taste of when we can dive into the horror of Resident Evil 4 Remake in VR on PSVR 2. It's coming in winter, but unfortunately we don't have an exact date yet, and finger crossed will arrive before the polar cold. This VR mode for Resident Evil 4 Remake will be different from the version we saw on MetaQuest in 2021. This time the game will be adapted directly from the Resident Evil 4 Remake, which was released earlier this year on console and PC, a real threat for fans of the series and horror. This announcement comes after the launch of the VR mode for Resident Evil Village on PSVR 2 in February, and let's face it, so far all the Resident Evil games in VR have been a milestone in the VR experience, right? No? So get your headset ready and be prepared to be immersed in the most compelling horror. It will be a long wait, but it will definitely be worth it. Stay tuned for more news and most importantly for the release date. Resident Evil 4 awaits us in the cold winter darkness. Oh, the ghosts are coming back! And this time you will have to face them in first person. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord is about to unleash horror on PSVR 2 and Quest, and what better time to do it just before Halloween. In the game developed by Endreams, you will have to confront the malevolent ghost lords to save San Francisco. And here's the cool part. You can do it cooperatively with your friends. Yes, you heard it right. Get ready to solve puzzles, trap ghosts, and stop the terrifying march of the malevolent with your fellow ghost hunters. And there's more. PSVR 2 will offer some truly spectacular features like eye tracking for extra precision and tactical feedback to make you feel truly part of the action when the ghosts pass you through. The controllers offer an authentic feel when picking up objects, and the adaptive triggers provide resistance when using the Proton backpack. But wait, there's an even more fantastic edition called the Full Containment Edition, which includes the complete game, post-launch content like equipment skins, extra avatar, and new game modes.
That's an offer that you cannot refuse.
Especially for Ghostbusters fans, the release date of Ghostbusters Rise of the Lord, market October 27, that's when you'll need to gear up to hunt ghosts and save San Francisco. So put on your Proton pack and get ready for spectral action. And finally in this video let's talk about Meta and conclude it. Meta is providing more insight into the epic world of Asgard Wrath 2, this time revealing details about the asynchronous dungeon crawling mode called Uncharted Rifts. In this mode, dungeons are procedurally generated, ensuring different layouts based on your hero and equipment. Each adventure culminates in a divine trial, which can range from massive scorpions to all versus one battle scenarios. Challenges are also posed by the Weavers of Fate, and completing them offers in-game reward. Continue to play, unlock revelations that provides up to 3 enhancements for the entire run. However, there's a little trick. If you die, you lose all the items you've collected up to that point, unless you send them through dimensional wells. But here's an interesting twist. Meta allow for asynchronous gameplay. At the end of each Uncharted Rifts session, you can leave an image of yourself for other players. Divine Soul that help players in progress by fighting alongside as companion, while Dread Soul act like mini-bosses to challenge them. Furthermore, you can find exclusive loot that can be transferred to the main game, which means that you might have to explore these rifts to gather important resources. Asgard Wrath 2 is expected to winter exclusively on MetaQuest platforms. And that's all for this edition. See ya in the comments to discuss about the topic covered, and I'll see you next Monday for another edition of the most important news on VR and video games. Thank you for watching the entire video. Like, share, subscribe, and keep following. And please be active. And remember the goal of reaching 12,000 subscribers by Christmas. That way, I can give you game keys and accessories for Quest 2 and Quest 3. Come on guys, just make an effort, bring in more people, and above all, be active, because this time, giveaways won't be given randomly. From Benito, see you next time. Take care, Riff Raff.